This is Insomnia. I don't know who the artist is. It's from the Night of the Roxbury soundtrack. Thought it was a pretty good opening number to start the show off with. It's a late show tonight. This is the late show with Dylan Knows. That's me. It is after 11 here on the Eastern Seaboard. I just finished watching a classic sci-fi film called the Banana Splits movie. Yeah, we all remember the Banana Splits. They were, old 1970s style psychedelic sort of show for kids, I guess, at that time. And then someone decided, hey, let's turn to a horror movie. So they did, and it was just shown on Sci-Fi right now. So me and the Snark Alex, we came on there and we snarked it, and it was actually really good, better than average, better than a lot of the sci-fi movies that we used to get all the time. So hey, that all works out. But hey, this is Dylan Knows, and this is Dylan Lang, and I just lost my one viewer. So see you later, alligator. It's all right. I know it's late. I got you. You got stuff you got to do. It's going to be a long day. Well, the reason why I'm doing this late, besides the fact that I was watching the Banana Splits movie, is tomorrow. I really can't do it tomorrow because we've got sort of a busy day going on, so I won't be able to have any time to do it anyway. So, and I'm taking Monday off again, so that'll be a nice sort of relaxing day to get over some things. But I'm hopefully going to maybe get my hair cut, maybe go see Gemini Man, maybe go get some candles from Yankee Candle, maybe put some Halloween stuff out. As you can see, I got my new Halloween shirt on. I figure it's be a good way to start the show here. So what do we got today? We got actually, I decided to do it today at this time because there's really not a lot on the show this week. It's about 2 pages worth of stuff. Usually it's about 3. So I'll give my Banana Splits review. I'll give my review also of Cinnamon Coke and cranberry and spiced cranberry Sprite, because I just had both of those the last couple days. We got some football news. We got some Crisis on Infinite Earth news. We got some deaths. We have some Jello shots. We have Horny Tarantulas, hence the name Horny Tarantulas. We've got some trailers. We got tents for cats. We have Halloween eggnog, cocktail capsules, historical pops, some animal stuff, beer, advent calendars, and you too can walk on water in these Jesus shoes. So let's get started. Now, first up, it's the 3-minute mark, so let's get moving. So good. A young man. Let's see. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. This is all part of the Joker stuff. Okay, so last week the Joker movie came out. Sorry, I had to decipher my my stuff, and people were expecting a lot more crazy stuff to happen at the theaters. Luckily, they didn't. Hopefully, because they were on top of things. But there were some crazy things. There was people who were laughing when the Joker killed people and applaud. He was asked to leave the theater. So, I mean, I guess that's, made people nervous. There have been talks of people walking out of the movie. I don't quite understand why that's the case either. There really is no reason to. It's a pretty straightforward movie. I don't think there was anything that crazy that happened in it. My review was last week anyway. And a woman wearing a Joker mask is charged with attacking a car with a hatchet. So that's the one violent thing that happened. So the one guy, a couple men who were laughing and cheering when the Joker was killing people and applauding, that just seems to me like they're just being dicks about stuff. I don't think they meant any harm for anyone because they knew of the anxiety that was going on, and it's a way to give them power, whatever. But having a woman wearing a Joker mask attacking a car with a hatchet, that's more along the lines of what could have been, the movie could have helped bring about. But at the end, it's in the news. So people are, they see this and say, oh, maybe I can get my 15 minutes of fame. So we'll go out there and we'll do something. And I'll get on a stupid little 10th rate YouTube show, get a mention on that. So, hey, there you go. But yeah, just kind of a creepy, scary kind of thing going on. But yeah, nothing else really major happening, which is good. So I'm glad about that. Oh, excuse me. How's this or something stupid? Games, regular games, like card games or board games, whatever, have been blamed for moral decay and addiction. I don't know who, I haven't seen that, but apparently there are people out there who are claiming that playing board games or card games or whatever leads to addiction and moral decay. Now, I guess if you are, betting on the games, then maybe in a religious zealot's eyes, that might be considered, you know, moral decay and addiction, but it's a board game like Clue or Sorry or something like that. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. Freddie Prinze Jr., who's got a hot, amazing wife, but he himself is a good guy, and I'm glad that the two of them have been married as long as they have, and they have a happy family and happy life, it appears. But Freddie Prinze Jr. is just like one of us. He's a geeky fanboy, likes wrestling and sports and comic books, and particularly Star Wars. He was also the voice on Star Wars, not Rebels. Yeah, it was Rebels. Wasn't it Rebels? Anyway, he was a voice in that show, and he was interviewed on a podcast recently where he went off on toxic Star Wars fans, and I think I absolutely have to cheer him for that, because the Star Wars fan base is absolutely insane. Not everybody is. I'm a fan of it. I'm not insane. But I know there are some who absolutely freak out about things, hence the whole Last Jedi clapback that happened a couple years ago. But at least, he's someone coming from the point where you can't just say, oh, it's just Freddie Prinze Jr. What does he know? What has he done? Well, no, he's actually in Star Wars canon, basically. So cheers to you, Freddie, and go home and have a nice time with your wife. Florida man. A Florida man was arrested for trying to get an alligator drunk. Scott McDonald? No, not Scotty. But, there always had to be a Florida man somewhere. So getting alligators drunk, cool, why not? You'd think there'd be more stories about that happening, but I guess it doesn't happen as often as we think. Here's some new stuff coming out. Dr. Pepper is going to be doing a cream soda Dr. Pepper hybrid, and I'm dying to try this. It's going to be a cream soda with like a Dr. Pepper flair to it, and I think that sounds awesome, and I can't wait to try that. Sounds like a really good idea. Plus, Pop-Tart pretzels. It's pretzels, but I guess with Pop-Tart frosting or the fillings or whatever, I'm not sure, but that's an interesting idea. I don't know if I'll try that, but it's an interesting enough idea. Speaking of new stuff, last week I told you I bought a couple of the small cans. I didn't want to go right out and get the 12 packs of the Coke Cinnamon and Spiced Cranberry Sprite, which are the holiday drinks for this year that Coke company's putting out. So I decided to try these small cans. They were like $4 for a 6-pack of these small cans that can fill one small glass of soda. And if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. End of the story. And I have to tell you right now, I was a little hesitant to try it, but my daughter wanted to try the Coke Cinnamon the other night. So she did, and I decided to give it a taste then and found out that I really liked it, actually, and so did my daughter. Now, when Pepsi did their Pepsi Cinnamon either earlier this year or last year or whatever, the years are all starting to go, I didn't like their cinnamon because they made it a little too cinnamon. It was just the aftertaste of the taste, did not taste very good. This is a more subtle cinnamon flavor to it. And actually, in all honesty, it tastes like flat Coke. Now, I know that might sound gross to some people out there, but I actually kind of liked how it tasted. It wasn't flat. It had the bubbles and the foam and all that stuff too. But when I drank it, it tasted like flat Coke. And so I didn't mind it, actually. I thought it was good. I mean, I'm not saying it was flat Coke, but I'm just saying it tasted like it. Nothing real outrageous, no strong cinnamon flavor. It's there, just very subtle. Sprite Spiced Cranberry, not as good as I thought. It's passable, and I don't know if I would drink it all the time. So of the two, I would probably buy a 12-pack of the Coke instead of the Sprite. But the Sprite's not bad. It's just I don't know, just kind of a weird taste to it. So it's fine, but I definitely make your own. That's my opinion. Make your own choices on that. I will be buying a 12-pack of the Coke Cinnamon very soon. Robert Forster, character actor who's been in Jackie Brown and the Breaking Bad and Twin Peaks reboot and a few other things as well. He passed away yesterday, actually. So rest in peace to you, Mr. Forster. Fun fact, he was the original actor that David Lynch wanted to play Harry Truman in the original Twin Peaks back in the early 90s, but Forster couldn't do it. For some reason, I don't know why. And they got Michael Ontkean, who did a fine job, was fantastic, was a great Harry Truman, and I thought it was fantastic. So when the opportunity arose for the third season of Twin Peaks that came out a couple of years ago, Michael Ontkean was not available, so they decided, hey, we can get, and Robert Forster was, hey, we can finally, switch it out, and made Robert Forster be Truman's brother. So, and that sort of makes sense in the end. So that was kind of good to see him in a couple of those shows. A couple of creepy stories. Well, maybe not creepy, but contemporary stories for our time. And our time is not very good right now. A woman was harassed on an airplane by seat-to-seat messaging, which I did not know even existed. So apparently on airplanes now, you can have seat-to-seat messaging. So if you wanted to talk to somebody and say J4 and you're an N6, you can just send them a little message via, I guess, the plane Wi-Fi or whatever, and there's a little seat-to-seat messaging. So that was kind of, I didn't even know that existed, and I was like, I guess. I mean, if you wanted to flirt with somebody you'd never met before, or what, I don't know, or if you wanted to, complain and say, hey, your child is a moron. I don't know, or being too loud or stinky. I don't know, but the fact is, someone actually was harassing her in the seat-to-seat messaging, and that is unacceptable, and something needs to be done so that does not happen again, because that is the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen to anybody on air. Well, one of the worst things that could possibly happen to somebody on an airplane, when you're stuck on an airplane with somebody for 4 hours who is harassing you and will not stop. I don't know if it tells you which seat is telling you this, and if it is, it might make things a lot easier to get them to stop. But even then, what are you going to do? You can't throw them out because you're in the middle of the air. So I don't know. The other one is more of an irony thing. One of the definitions of irony: a "Make America Great Again" person has to sell their prized signed Donald Trump hat to cover their medical procedures. Now, if you don't know why that isn't ironic, you really haven't been following what's been going on in the world today. So I just thought that was kind of funny and ironic that someone who backs somebody who totally doesn't want to give you good health insurance, you have to pay. This is just proof right there that they don't care. He doesn't care about you. So you have to sell your prized possession to cover your health care, because the guy you thought was a god doesn't give a damn about you. I just thought that was funny. Minshew Mania hits Jacksonville. Gardner Minshew is the backup quarterback to the Jacksonville Jaguars after, who's the dude who moved from the Eagles to there? I forget his name. He got injured. He was out for the year. And he's got this sort of porn stash thing going. And so everybody loves this guy now. So Jacksonville has a home game on Sunday, and they will be giving away Gardner Minshew mustaches. So you can get you get one when you walk in. You can put that on and watch the game with the same porn stash mustache that your quarterback has. So I think it's kind of funny and gives Jacksonville something to cheer for, since they're not a very good team anyway. A mob of horny tarantulas is prowling San Francisco, hence the name of the episode, Horny Tarantulas. This is just a weird headline in and of itself. I didn't know there were tarantulas in San Francisco, and the fact that they are horny, I guess, is causing an issue for the people of San Francisco. But hey, spiders got to get some loving too. And some local news, squeegee kids. You know what squeegee kids are? I don't know if you have them in your town. Squeegee kids are when you're at a stoplight. These kids come out, and some of them aren't like young. Some are young kids. Some are like in their early 20s and had probably been doing it when they were young, because we've had squeegee kids since as long as I've known. When you're stopped at the stoplight, if you do not wave them off, they will spray water on your windows and wipe them down and then expect you to pay them for it. That's what the squeegee kids do. That's why you just gotta, I always gotta wave them off and say, nope, not interested, whatever. And most of the time, they're fairly good at not doing it. And there's some people who actually say, hey, go ahead, we want to help, help give you money and stuff like that, and let them do their windows. That's fine. But what's interesting is that here in Baltimore, a traffic light went out in an area where there were squeegee kids. And the squeegee kids, and there's usually 2 or 3 of them, the squeegee kids actually went out into the street and directed traffic until the police got there, which I thought was kind of an interesting, fascinating thing, that they would go out there of their own accord and do that. So, I mean, they're not all bad. As long as you wave them off, they're not going to bother you. So that's fine. Also locally, I saw this locally also. I don't know if this is, maybe it's not locally, but I think maybe it was, it could be possibly. Go-karts are hugely popular now. Indoor go-kart tracks are one of the most popular things out there. And so is axe throwing. That is also a new fun event. Well, somebody decided, let's throw them together. So now you have go-karts and axe throwing. I don't think you're throwing axes in the go-karts, but the fact that they're within close proximity to each other could be problematic. But I thought that was kind of an interesting story as well. Here's an interesting story, animal story. So guy just had an operation, and he's recovering from it at home on his sofa, just relaxing, resting up, getting stronger every day. So he's sleeping on the couch. So this guy's wife doesn't want to disturb him. So she goes out to do some shopping and leaves the door ajar. Doesn't leave it open all the way, or doesn't close it all the way, just leaves it ajar, and goes away. And her husband is recovering. Now, they must be in a safe neighborhood, because you can't just do that in any neighborhood, because people will come in and rob you. But in this case, when the woman came back, she was surprised to find her husband asleep on the sofa, and lying right next to him on his shoulder near his head was a cat. They do not own a cat. And I just find it funny that a stray cat, I think it turned out to be a stray cat. I don't think it was a neighbor's cat or anything like that, but a stray cat either somehow sensed or knew that somebody was in pain in this house, got in through the cracked door and curled up next to the person who was injured. Now, you might think, nah, that's crazy. No, and I'll give you my own proof. This year has been awfully shitty for me and my family. And one example of that, I discussed this months ago when it actually happened, but back in February, well, my wife went out for a late night walk, 10 o'clock at night in the snow. It was snowing, so there was going to be hardly anybody out there, and it's kind of quiet and nice to walk around your neighborhood in the snow. And my neighborhood's safe enough that a woman can walk around on her own at 10 o'clock at night. But it was also snowing, so there weren't going to be a lot of people out there. She was crossing a crosswalk, and the crosswalk had the walk sign for the pedestrian, so she had the right of way. And some woman who was turning left into that area ran into my wife as she was crossing the street. Now, not hard, thank heavens for that. And the woman actually stopped to stay with her until the police came, which was good. It wasn't a hit and run. But my wife still had gotten hit by a car. So she called me, and I came and got her, and we discussed it. The EMTs and stuff were there, and we discussed it. And she was going to go home because it was 10 o'clock at night. It was snowing. The kids were home by themselves, and we didn't know what was going on. So my wife said, we'll just go home. And if the pain is too unbearable or whatever, we can go to, or we'll go to the, not ER, but the one stop healthcare shop places you see now, 24-hour cares type of things. The next day, and once it's light out and the kids can be by themselves for a few hours. So I got my wife into bed, and she had hurt her leg, and her ribs were hurt. So she was lying in the bed, and she was shivering from shock, and she had to have her foot raised up on pillows, and we had blankets, and I kept her warm and stuff like that. Our cat, Jinx, jumped up on the bed, and usually she would hang out with me. She skipped right over on me, curled up on Dawn, and did not leave her until the morning. So she knew that there was something wrong. So cats have that sense. I'm sure dogs do as well. So I wouldn't, it doesn't change the fact that animals somehow can sense this stuff. So I think that's kind of a nice story. Here's a weird weather story for you. Boulder, Colorado, which is an absolutely gorgeous area. Been there before. They started, it was a couple days ago, they started the day off at around 83 degrees, warm, sunny day. And literally by the afternoon, a cold front came through, dropped the temperature 40 degrees to the 40s, and it started to snow in the same day. It was 83 degrees in the morning. It was 43 in the afternoon with snow. 83 and sunny, 43 and snow. And people say climate change isn't happening. That is not normal. It's fascinating, but it's not normal. A sad story. A man burned to death while trying to save a dog from hot springs. So I guess the dog was okay, even though I guess he was trapped in the hot springs also. But it's sad when something like that happens, when you try to save an animal and you end up losing your life, but you save the animal's life. It's great that you're able to save the animal's life, but to lose your own life, it's sad. Alexei Leonov, the first person to walk in space, a Russian cosmonaut, passed away this week as well. So it must be really interesting to be the first person ever to walk in space. Godspeed, rest in peace to you too. You can get married at McDonald's if you want for less than $500, and I guess that means catering as well. So you can get married there and have the wedding reception at your local McDonald's. Why not? If you like, to have a wedding dinner of hamburgers, chicken nuggets, milkshakes, hey, go for it. So, hey, if you're looking for a cheap wedding, McDonald's will do it for $500 or less. Tickets to tomorrow's or Sunday's Dolphins-Redskins game. Both teams are 0-5. They are playing in Miami, and both teams just don't look really, really good at all. Are going for less money than it costs to go to the zoo, which means you can probably get into a NFL game for probably less than $50, which is, in this age of outrageous game prices, is stunning. So that's kind of interesting. The Jesus shoes. Nike has created $3,000 Nike shoes that are filled with holy water. So you can walk on water just like Jesus. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. And they've all sold out also. $3,000 shoes filled with holy water. I'm not saying when you put your shoe in, it's like in the heel or whatever, but it's there. Interesting. So the reason why it is now 11:36 and I'm only 24 minutes into my show is because tonight was the premiere of the Banana Splits movie, which was something that I think started off as a joke last year or something like that, saying, hey, there's going to be a horror movie featuring the Banana Splits, your old time 1970s old school, kid show, psychedelic sort of kid show, Sid and Mary Croft type thing. I don't think they were involved with it, but it's that similar sort of feel to it. I never watched the Banana Splits, but there was a comic that came out where I think when DC used to do these crossovers with cartoons, stuff like that, there was a comic, might have been Harley Quinn, actually. I think Harley Quinn teamed up with the Banana Splits to take on some bad guys. So they're around there. They're iconic, whatever. Do, 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 do. I think that's what it was. That's their theme song, somewhere along those lines. I should have played that for my opening instead of Insomnia, but let me just see if I can find the Banana Splits. Not Nana, banana. I'm a banana. I'm a banana. Banana. Banana Splits song. There we go. That's the Banana Splits. So they decided they were going to do a horror film of it because that's kind of a silly, hey, old school kids cartoon psychedelic show. Let's make it into a horror film. So Sci-Fi said, sure, why not? We'll wear it during Halloween. So this month, today, actually, they aired the Banana Splits horror movie. And believe it or not, when I saw this, I thought it was going to be one of these goofy, awful, terrible B movies that we're so used to for sci-fi. This movie is actually fairly entertaining, though I have to admit that at the beginning of the film, the majority of the people we saw were kind of annoying and unlikable, but it has a fairly straightforward story. We learn, and these are all spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, now you don't have to listen or fast forward or whatever you want to do now. The Banana Splits actually turned out to be robots and not people in costumes like they were in the 70s. So these were actually robots who were programmed every day with the new stuff that they were going to do for that episode. So it's this young kid's birthday today, and he wanted to go see a taping of it. So the family decided to take him to a taping of the Banana Split show. And everything seemed to be going fine until they found out that, well, they didn't find out until the producer found out that the show was being canceled. And then something happened to someone hacked into the Banana Splits programming and turned them sort of evil. So after the show, there was like a meet and greet afterwards with some lucky people. And sure enough, the Banana Splits robots started killing people, the adults really, and kidnapping the kids. So they would kill them in all kinds of nice, gruesome ways. And it was up to the family to try to save the day. A nice little twist ending at the end as usual. But in all, it was an entertaining, fun film. The Snark Alex make it a whole lot better. Obviously, all the snarky tweets and the funny tweets from my friends, stuff like that is great to see also. And also, we got conversations from the director was in and actually had some one-on-one conversations with myself and probably some other people as well. And then the actress who played the main female lead, she was interacting with a lot of people as well. So had a good response from the cast and stuff like that. But it was an entertaining show in the end and well worth it. So, I mean, just straightforward, the people try to survive as the robotic Banana Splits go crazy and start killing the grown-ups and not the kids. So, nice. Speaking of other cool stuff on TV, the CW has been pushing this for a few years now, and it's finally going to come. Crisis on Infinite Earths will be out probably sometime in November, in time for sweeps probably. Or maybe they might wait till February of next year. I don't know, but they're filming the stuff now. That's why I'd assume probably closer to November. And we've been hearing about all kinds of the crazy stuff that's going to be happening. All the cast members that have been coming out of the woodwork to be in this, from old superhero shows like Tom Welling of Smallville and Erica Durance, who played his Lois Lane. They're both going to be in this. And then Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman in the animated series, will be playing Bruce Wayne in an alternate dimension as well. Then the old early 2000s Birds of Prey TV show, which my wife and I absolutely loved as well. The actress who plays Huntress is going to be reprising her role as Huntress. And there have been, all kinds of other crazy casting going on. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played Superman in Superman Returns, the film that was trying to reboot the Superman franchise back in 2004, he's now going to be playing an older, wiser version of Superman. So that's kind of an interesting take as well. And then you've got all the CW characters all crossing over with each other again. So you're going to see all that as well. So there have been, all these special, sightings of actors, stuff like that from other previous things. And you're probably going to see a bunch that they haven't even told us about either. So, but this week, though, a number of, since they're filming this week, there have been a number of eyewitness accounts and sightings of possible other actors and stuff like that. They're going to be involved with it. Burt Ward, who played the original Robin from the 1966 TV show, has popped up on set. So he's going to be playing something or someone. Don't know if it's going to be Robin or Nightwing or old Dick Grayson or new Bruce Wayne or whatever. We don't know. We won't know until this show airs. So he showed up as well. Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer on the show that was on Fox and then I think moved to Netflix. I think he has also been brought in to play Lucifer in this as well. He's going to be reprising his role as Lucifer. And the big one is Michael Keaton, the original Batman from 1989, will not be acting in it, but his picture is prominently placed on a newspaper that announces his wedding to Catwoman with a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer, who was Catwoman in Batman Returns. So that's a way to sort of, you can't get Michael Keaton to do it, but you can get him to be mentioned in it. So there's a whole bunch of other sightings that have been going on right now, but it's going to be an amazing thing. The more and more they throw stuff out there, I think they should also have like Michael Shanks's Hawkman from Smallville as well. His was a really good version of it as well. And there was a few other great characters they could bring into the show as well, but we'll see what happens. So you go, Crisis Infinite. I might actually have to check that out. Speaking of DC Comics and Crisis, now I'm a little not worried, not really surprised too much, but there's a rumor going around that next summer DC Comics will be rebooting their entire line again. This will be like the fourth reboot. Let's see. Yeah, it'll be the third or fourth reboot in like the last 7 or 8 years. And the rumor that is coming up has the heading of 5G for 5th generation. The rumor is that all the DC, a new crisis is going to pop up, and like all the DC books and stuff like that are all going to end, and then they're going to restart again with new number ones again, but with the next generation cast members. So one thing that's popped up was rumors that Lucius Fox's son Luke Fox, who played Batwing and now plays another character, I think, in Batman, will be taking over the role of Batman. So you have that, and then you could have other younger characters come in and take the place of the Hal Jordans and the Bruce Waynes and the Clark Kents. It's going to be hard for the Clark Kent, since their son Jonathan, who has now been pushed to being a teenager, is now going to be in the future with the Legion. So we don't know if what's going to happen with Superman and what's going to happen on that end. So as again, just rumor, hearsay, we don't know what's going on. But it kind of makes sense if Luke Fox does take over as Batman. That would mean that the Batman-Catwoman marriage that might be coming back on, because they've got that 12-issue miniseries Batman-Catwoman coming up at the beginning of next year, which could lead into them departing as heroes and going on about their marriage life and leaving Gotham in the hands of Luke Fox. So we'll see what happens. Again, just a rumor, but something to keep an eye on, particularly for comic book fans. I'm not the biggest fan of when you keep rebooting things. And New York Comic Con had a story about how DC was trying to do one concise universe history, having trying to figure out the history of all the characters as it stands now, and that appears to be what's going to be leading into this new reboot if it does happen. So not till next summer. We'll probably start seeing more about this probably the beginning of next year if they actually are going to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still on the fence. We'll just have to see how it's going to get done. Apple cider jello shots with Fireball whiskey is a thing now. So for your grown-up Halloween parties or just on your own if you want, that's an option for you as well. Same with, is it on here? No, it's not on here. There is a trailer for the new Pixar, new trailer for the new Pixar movie Onward, which you get a little bit better idea of it. The original teaser trailer appeared to be, it was going to take place in a modern day middle-aged time, meaning like, what if, contemporary time with houses and planes and cars and stuff like that. What if there were still dragons and unicorns and trolls and such still living in modern times? So that's what seemed to be at first. But now we get a better general idea of what's going on. These two trolls, which are the main characters voiced by Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, are actually going to be trying to bring back their dead father for a day. It was a special magic that, when the youngest son turned 16, that they'll be able to bring back the father for one 24-hour period so they can say goodbye and spend some time with their dead father or whatever. So when they try to bring him back, only half of him appear. So now they have to go and find a way to fix it. So the other half comes out and they can spend their 24 hours together. So that generally seems to look like it's going to be the movie. An interesting idea, I guess. We'll see. It's not screaming out for me, you have to see this movie. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of those where I might wait for it to be on Blu-ray or DVD and pick it up then. We'll see. Last week I talked about how Martin Scorsese went off on Marvel movies and superheroes movies in general. Well, this week it was Jennifer Aniston's turn to do it. She went off on it as well. And again, it's just like, look, it's your opinion. That's fine. Jennifer, are you upset about the Marvel movies because Angelina Jolie is going to be in one of them and you blame her for your marriage to Brad Pitt falling apart? That's possible, but you know what? Keep your opinion to yourself. A lot of people happen to like Marvel movies or superhero movies, and they will continue to watch them as well. And just because it doesn't fit into your or Martin Scorsese's narrow view of what cinema should be, or maybe you auditioned for some roles and they rejected you and you're angry about that as well. I don't know. But just, keep your opinions to yourself. And I really don't care. But I figure I better drop that in there and let you know that both her and Martin Scorsese have dropped stuff about Marvel and stuff like that. And I just don't care. Jared Leto, who honestly, to me, was the absolute worst Joker of all time. He's terrible. The movie Suicide Squad was terrible. Everything about that was terrible. And everything about Jared Leto's Joker was terrible. Well, Jared Leto is feeling alienated and upset that he was not asked to be in the Joker movie, to be the star of the Joker movie, I should say, that's making lots of money. Again, you play the Joker in one movie, and it wasn't really that good of a Joker because the last two people who played the Joker, Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson, both got Oscar nominations for their role, with Heath Ledger actually winning and Jack not, but at least he got nominated. And Joaquin Phoenix is probably going to get nominated for Best Actor as well for this role. And you're just mad because your version of Joker was absolutely horrendous and terrible. And the fact now that it's making a lot of money and is being very successful, you're grumpy and upset that, why not me? Why not me? I want to be the big star. No. Stick with Morbius. You'll be fine. You've got your own other comic book movie you can do. So, is Ahsoka Tano in Rise of Skywalker? The new Star Wars movie is coming out in about 2 months. For those who don't know, in the Clone Wars cartoon, one of the best new characters ever created was Ahsoka Tano. and she has not appeared in any of the Star Wars live action films, and that could absolutely change in this new one right here. And I really hope so, because Ahsoka Tano is one of the absolute best characters ever created, and Clone Wars and Rebels is the name of the other one, are canon, and she appeared in both of them. So she is canon in the Star Wars world, and now a live action version of her would be absolutely awesome. Wayne Brady, that of the Whose Line Is It Anyway group, is actually going to be playing a serious role on a CW superhero show. Jennifer Aniston, take that. Black Lightning, he'll be playing a character called Gravedigger, which is an obscure character from the DC Comics world. But he will be playing him in an upcoming episode of Black Lightning. I think it's going to be after the Crisis stuff. So he's not going to be involved with Crisis, unfortunately, but he will be showing up afterwards. This is a interesting story. It's disturbing, but it's an interesting story. So a man was gored by a bison while he was walking on a trail a few years ago. So flash forward to recently, he decides to take a date back to the exact same path where he got gored, just to, hey, it's a beautiful thing, and let me just show you where I got gored and almost died by a bison. It's beautiful here. And the girlfriend got bored by the same bull that bored the guy those couple years ago. Kind of a weird sort of story. I mean, being gored is not fun. It could kill you. But the fact that it happened twice in the exact same spot by the exact same bull is kind of telling. It's kind of interesting. And now, a similar note, a man won $17,000 on a lotto scratch-off. So a news reporter says, hey, can we interview you? It's a good story. You won $17,000. We need like a fluff piece, whatever. And can you reenact it, what you did and what you felt when you won the 17K? So he bought another scratch off while they were filming him. And he's like saying, yeah, this is what has happened. I was scratching along and I discovered I won all this money, stuff like that. So the scratch off that he bought, that he was pretending to reenact when he won the $17,000, actually won him $250,000. So he won $17,000 on a scratch off. It was a fluff piece story the news wanted to do, so they followed him around. They wanted him to reenact it, so he bought another lotto ticket and was reenacting it. And while he was reenacting, he discovered he won $250,000 more dollars. So he won a grand total of $267,000 with two scratch offs. That's kind of a interesting little side story as well. A man robs a bank a day before his wedding to pay for his ring for his fiance and the ceremony, and he gets busted by his fiance, who saw a video of him doing this crime on social media. I mean, you got to give he didn't have the money, but he wanted to give his fiance a great ring and a great wedding. So he did what he thought he had to do to make her happy, which was rob a bank. Unfortunately, he got busted, and I don't think he's going to get married now. It's Halloween coming up, and let's see, today's the 12th, in 19 days. 19 days will be Halloween. So when you think of Halloween, you think of eggnog? No, that's Christmas. But Halloween eggnog is now a thing for those people who like their eggnog, and I like eggnog. I haven't seen the Halloween eggnog, but I like to try it out. But it's like a peanut butter chocolate eggnog, and there's like a cinnamon or something like that as well, and then regular eggnog, but they are Halloween labeled boxes and labeled as Halloween eggnog. So definitely go out to your local store, see if they have some Halloween eggnog if you like it, and I'm probably going to as well, and I hope they have some so I can have it as well. Cocktail capsules are a thing where somebody creates adult Gushers. Remember, Gushers was that candy where it was you put it in your mouth and you bit down on it and it squished like flavored juice in your mouth and then it became gum. Well, this is you pop it in your mouth, you bite down on it, and it's alcohol that gets squirted into your throat. So it's a way to get drunk without drinking a glass of wine or alcohol or whatever, you can just get it in these gusher type things, bite down on it, and you get the liquor that way. So that's interesting. Disneyland's first ever customer, the one who walked through the doors the very first time when they opened all those years ago, I think it was 50 years ago, I think, was given, since he was the first person to walk through the door, he was given a lifetime pass to Disneyland. And most times people probably wouldn't keep using it. This guy has gone to Disneyland every year since he got that free pass. So good on him for living up to what they expected him to do, I guess. 20 new moons have been discovered circling Saturn, which now makes it the planet with the most moons, now beating Jupiter, who was the leader at the time. But now, with these 20 new moons being discovered, Saturn is now the leader with 90 some moons, I think, right now, which is absolutely unbelievable to think about. Think about looking outside right now at the gorgeous moon we have out tonight, and think about seeing 90 some of them in the air. Kind of interesting. There's tiny tents now that you can buy for your cat. So if you want to buy your cat like a little tent area thing, you can get them now, so they can go in and they can hide and hang out in there, and might be kind of cool. Hopefully your cat might like that. What the hell is that? Oh, the original Animaniacs voice cast will be coming back for the reboot that has been announced as well, so that's good. Dancing can reverse the signs of aging in your brain. So if you want to reverse the signs of aging in your brain, going for a nice little dance or dancing with your loved ones or whatever would help you do that. More fun type thing, when you get a top for a beer that you gotta get the can opener with, is pop it open. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Well, now you can get a shooting one where you pop it on there and you open up the bottle cap, but the bottle cap gets sucked into the chamber and you can shoot it off at somebody and it can go shooting. So that's kind of cool. So you go and then boom type of thing. That's kind of a neat invention. So that's kind of cool. Netflix is releasing a new Christmas-oriented cartoon called Claus. I saw the trailer for it this week. It actually looks really interesting. The animation style looks really, really good. And it's a version of how Santa Claus sort of becomes Santa Claus. And looks pretty good. And it'll be coming out in November sometime, probably right around Thanksgiving, so that you can start watching it for the holidays. I'm definitely probably going to check it out because I think it looks really, really good and the animation looks good. So if you want to see what it looks like, type in KLAUS, not CLAUS, KLAUS, and check it out. Claus the cartoon. It's a cartoon movie, so it'll be like a one and done thing. Pops are one of my favorite toy type of things, and I have a whole bunch of them. I'm also a history major, and earlier this year, they released their first branch of historical pops. Includes Uncle Sam, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and the big one was George Washington crossing the Delaware. So I was like, okay, I got all of them except for the George Washington crossing the Delaware. I got all the Target exclusives that are out there now because I bought them all at Target. But I haven't gotten the Washington crosses the Delaware big one. But because they were popular, they are going to be releasing more historical pops later, or probably early next year, including a Ruth Bader Ginsburg one, and the Kennedys. You're going to get a Jackie O, a John, and a Rob F. Kennedy. And I think you're actually going to get a Ted Kennedy in there as well. So interesting, and probably be picking those up as well. Man decides he's going to try to find proof of aliens or whatever, so he hacks into NASA's computer system and actually is surprised to discover that they actually do have UFO photos uploaded on their computer. So it means that NASA is investigating UFOs and is maybe hiding some UFO sightings that have been seen by the astronauts in the space in outer space, checking things out. So that's kind of interesting and worth looking into more. hundreds of skeletons. I'm sorry, hundreds of skeletons were found in a mysterious Himalayan lake, and some of these skeletons go back as far back as like the 17 and 1600s. So apparently, this lake, whatever it was, that no one really knew existed till recently, I would assume, due to the fact of our climate change and the melting of the snow and ice has revealed this lake. They discovered all these skeletons buried inside it. So at one time, it was probably a mass burying spot for the Himalayan people. So kind of a neat historical find, but again, something that would not have been found if not for climate change. Not saying climate change is good, because it isn't, but it is helping to reveal things that have never been seen before. Speaking of climate change, Earth had the hottest September on record ever this past September. Just goes to show you that there's definitely something going on, and something needs to be done to fix it. Just imagine you are digging a hole in your backyard or whatever, not mind your business, and all of a sudden a giant snake leaps out of a hole next to the hole that you're digging. That happened to this one dude, so he's just digging a regular hole, and then eventually he digs the ground, sees another hole over there, and looks at it. All of a sudden a giant serpent jumps out at him. So just imagine that happening. That must have freaked out that dude pretty good. A real estate agent trying to figure out ways to help sell the house a little bit, dressed up as Ghostface from the Scream franchise, and took pictures of himself dressed in the Scream costume in every room of the house he was trying to sell, and then posted on his website as a way to, hey, this is your house, come check it out. Rip Taylor, comedian, passed attempts this week as well. Rest in peace, Rip. Man attempts to start. I can't see I don't know what that is. Man attempts to. I can't read that. Costco has a beer lovers advent calendar. So advent calendars are a big deal now. There was a Harry Potter sock one I talked about last week, and there's a few other ones that have popped up. There's a pop one as well that's popped up as well. So now why not a beer one? So Costco has that now, so you can absolutely check that out as well. Oh, okay. Man attempts to steal a flute by sticking it down his pants. That was what I couldn't read. That's right. So dude decided he wanted to try to steal a flute from a instrument store, and the only way he could do it was by sticking it down his pants. And he would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for those darn kids. French inventor crosses the English Channel on a hoverboard. Those things like that, I guess they fly in the air now. You have these hoverboards that actually do fly through the air right now. He actually crossed the English Channel, which is long, but not too long, because people have swum it before and stuff like that. But, it's still kind of impressive that something like that could happen. Speaking of impressive, Iliad Kipchoge ran a marathon, 26.2 miles, in under 2 hours in Vienna. He did it in 1:59:48, something like that. But there's a little big but though. It's impressive as it is, but there were pace setters, and the marathon path, the 26.2 mile path, was built to help facilitate this. So it was an attempt to try to break a record that he'd been training for, and he did it. So, in all, he did what he was supposed to do. I don't know if you want to say that, that it really counts, but the fact is he ran 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. So that's got to be impressive. I didn't even know this movie was coming out. Robert Downey Jr. has found his first project after Endgame and the Avengers stuff. And yes, he's filming Sherlock Holmes now, but that's not coming out for another year or so. But this movie, I didn't even know he had filmed, and yet there is a poster, and a poster has a date of January 17th on it. So I'm assuming it's going to come out on that date. Let me just make sure that is the actual. January 17th is actually a Friday. It is. So Robert Downey Jr. will be starring in a remake of Dr. Dolittle called Dolittle, apparently coming out on January 17th, where he can talk to the animals. So that might actually be an entertaining film to check out. Robert Downey Jr. doing Robert Downey Jr. stuff with animals. Which really doesn't sound good now, does it? Driver crashes car after a spider drops down off of his rearview mirror. People's fear of spiders is absolutely, it's funny to me because I'm not really that scared of them. But the fact that I guess I can understand something freaking you out, because I had a praying mantis freak me out earlier this week. He was on our door when I opened it up to go out to our deck the other night. It fell right in front of me and hit the ground hard. I didn't know what it was. It freaked me out. But the fact that a spider jumped out from the rearview mirror freaked the guy out so much that it caused a car accident. That's kind of interesting. A service dog has been chosen to become a captain for the Washington Capitals hockey team. So that's kind of nice. So he'll be out there on the ice and, honorary captain at every home game, and it'll go around and to schools, stuff like that, with a Caps jersey on, and get people excited about hockey and taking care of other people and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Speaking of that, high school cross country team takes shelter dogs for runs with them when they're practicing. So when they're practicing their long distance running, the cross country guys, they go to the local shelters and say, "Hey, can we walk your dogs for you?" and take them on these runs. So the dogs get a little exercise, they get a little human interaction, and that's absolutely lovely. Navajo Nation is going solar. It's a great view of this whole one big area of just of solar panels, so that they can run their entire reservation on solar panels. It works. It's out west where there's going to be a lot of sun out there, and they have lots of flat ground in their reservations. So hey, why not try it? Get your solar panels out there, get some power, and you might be able to power a small city with what you got. And finally, again, I can't read my handwriting. Okay, I got it now. So you see these guys who do, street guitar music or just music around the street, drums, stuff, whatever, and just doing it to try to get money on the side or whatever. Well, this one guy was, strumming his guitar, was pretty good at it, but nobody was stopping to listen to him. So he just kept playing, and eventually he had four tiny visitors, four tiny kittens. Oh, I thought I heard something. Four tiny kittens showed up to listen to his music. And when that happened, all of a sudden, more and more people wanted to come and listen to his music as well. So that's it for the regular stories for this week. Two notable anniversaries this week. One was Angel, the TV series, had its 20th anniversary actually on October 5th, which was last Sunday. And my favorite REM album of all time, Automatic for the People, had its 27th anniversary on the 6th of October. So we have that as well. So as I told you, small, quick episode. I'm not going to do Check ID. I didn't do Check ID last week. I still got under an hour. This is still under an hour. Let's see if I can get this just slightly over an hour, and we can go to bed. No, it's not this. I want this. It's after midnight, so technically it is the 13th of October. We're going to go with the 12th since I'm still on 12th October time frame. So October 12th, Saturday, this past Saturday, it was Cookbook Launch Day, Free Thought Day, International African Penguin Awareness Day, International Cassette Store Day, International Moment of Frustration Scream Day, International Newspaper Carrier Day, National Chess Day, National Costume Swap Day, National Gumbo Day, National Kids Bowl Free Day, National Motorcycle Rider Day, National Savings Day, Old Farmers Day. Pulled Pork Day was today, October 12th. Universal Music Day, World Arthritis Day. October 11th was You Go Girl Day, General Pulaski Memorial Day, International Day of the Girl Child, Kimberly Day, Kraken Day, National Coming Out Day, National It's My Party Day, National Sausage Pizza Day, Southern Food Heritage Day, Vet Nurse Day, World Day Against the Death Penalty, World Egg Day, World Obesity Day. October 10th was Hug a Drummer Day, International Stage Management Day, National Angel Food Cake Day, National Cake Decorating Day, National Depression Screening Day, National Handbag Day, National Hug a Kevin Day, National Love Your Hair Day, National Metric Day, National Shift 10 Day, National Tuxedo Day, Powers of 10 Day, Squid and Cuttlefish Day, U.S. Naval Academy Day, World Homeless Day, World Hospice and Palliative Care Day, World Mental Health Day, World Porridge Day, World Sight Day. And today, Sunday the 13th, holidays for today are U.S. Navy's birthday, Silly Sayings Day, Pastor Appreciation Day, National Yorkshire Pudding Day, National Train Your Brain Day, National No Bra Day is today. Sweet. Ladies, drop all your bras, take off all your bras, show me pictures. National M&M Day. October 13th is Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day, International Suit Up Day, International Plain Language Day, International Day for Failure, International Day for Disaster Reduction, Good Samaritan Day, and English Language Day. And that is that. So that is what's going on about that. And that's it. So I got you over an hour, 1 hour, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Thanks for watching. Next week's show will be probably on the 19th at my usual time. No, because there's a Critters movie going on. So it might not be till Sunday the 20th because I don't think we got anything going on Sunday the 20th. So probably next Sunday will be the next episode of Dylan Knows Live. The 19th is going to be Critters Attack Day. So the sci-fi movie, we're going to do another one of those. So that'll be fun. All right, gang, take care. Have a great weekend and be good. It's October.